resources. Is that okay? Be casual.
I'll take my time. I'll be quick. I feel like I think this is something that comes up a lot, right? And I think the fear of being replaced by AI is not just in victim support. I think there is that fear in almost every single profession in the world right now. But I think when it comes to victim support and criminal justice, and victim support particularly, I think the fear of being replaced by AI is a little bit less, right? Because I think that human connection, that human touch will always have to be there when providing support to victims of crime. But I do think that, there's a different way that I like to look at it. I think that it's not the fear of AI replacing me, but the fear for me is that I will be replaced by the person who is learning to use AI better than I am. And that's kind of how I see it. That's.
Okay. Thanks. That was quick. No, I don't know what to say. No, I think I agree. One of the things, thinking about that question is always, I think we all agree that it would be a huge mistake to just let AI, especially when it comes to psychological support, it can definitely facilitate, but I think we all agree that AI will never replace that human touch, as you said. But we all agree to that, and it's our responsibility to make sure that it doesn't happen. So all of us, and obviously we're talking about the developers, the tech companies, and we're working with them at ICMEC. I'm sure a lot of you as NGOs, as law enforcement, you are working with them as well. It is our common responsibility to make sure it doesn't happen. So I would fear it, but not so much, because I would be more motivated to be sure, like, okay, we all agree, let's make sure it doesn't happen.
So, of course, I have the same opinion as my colleague today. I think AI enables us also to do more with less.
Like a second brain.
A good one. but I think we need also to be careful about ethics at all time. And I would say that also, I guess also in other organizations, I understand in the session this morning, there are many volunteers in our line of work. Some of them are younger, some of them are more experienced. And it's also important to train them using AI. Not to let them on the side, because actually they got the experience. They may not have the knowledge about AI because they are not born, I would say not like me, but maybe like my colleague with the phone, on your hands. So they need really to be accompanied also in this journey to continue to perform. Oh, sorry.
Some moments for questions in the audience. Do you have any questions concerning that you can put to our guests?
I have a question.
Of course.
I'm the president of Victim Support Europe, but also the president of Slachtofferhulp Nederland. And we work a lot with artificial intelligence and smaller projects. But what I find so interesting that a lot of people from your kind of organizations are volunteers in our organization. Because as you can imagine, a lot of us cannot afford a lot of things, so we try to have our contacts with them, and in fact they bring us further, and that's a great success, I must say. So I was wondering if that's part of what we can talk about with you, because I think it's good to make that kind of starts. You have to start somewhere. Yes?
It's my short answer.
We should, all of us here, I think there is something that we share the same values.
Yes, I know that we share the same values, but there is a moment that you have to do something and you need a little budget or whatever. And we work with, in our organization, with 50% volunteers. But they all worked till I think a year ago in the support service. And now we started to ask people to come to work in the other departments. And because there are a lot of technique we need in our organization. digitalization. So we know everything about support, and they know a lot more about artificial intelligence, digitalization, human resource, whatever. And I'm thinking of that kind of combination that should be perfect for us.
That brings the issue of synergies between technologies, NGOs, and the other organizations that were victim support, and it's really, really important to promote that. Any further questions?
Thank you. One question for me, which is kind of in the other direction. Obviously, we're talking about AI in supporting victims and preventing crime, but can you briefly reflect on AI on the other side and people being victimized by the AI, and how can we prevent that? Because you said one thing, which I kind of, you said AI is for free. No, it's not. We pay by our data, if nothing else. So, like, how can we work? And maybe, I don't know, like, all three will probably have positions.
About 10 seconds each.
I'll just start with one very quick thing, thinking about CSAM, training data. The AI needs to be trained on data that is not illegal, that has been checked. It's hard, but you need to be very careful with the kind of data that the AI is trained on. That's one very niche example.
I'll be really quick too. I think when it comes to technology, I think misuse is something that we're going to see no matter what. I think when phones first came out, when social media first came out, when the internet first came, everybody was just as afraid with how is it going to be misused, how are we going to tackle it, and I think the best way that we've been able to tackle the misuse of internet is with the use of internet, right? And so I think that you said it really well. I think it's a matter of how we train the AIs, right? Like what data sets are we using, how much the limitations, the boundaries, kind of everything that we create on it. And I think the conversation goes a lot further into the regulations and everything as well, right? I think there needs to be that perfect partnership between the systematic change and the technology progression in the world at the same time. And I think that's how we're going to make sure that misuse will happen. It's a matter of how can we stay ahead of it, right? Like knowing that this is how AI is growing, and in the next 10 years, this could be the potential problems that we will face. So let's start building those solutions, potential solutions, 10 years early, so we can be ahead of the trends of the problems that might come up.
Our society also is getting more and more polarized, and there are more and more bots also fostering hatred. And I think we need also to be a bit bolder to use AI to promote positive speech, to fight hatred. And I think we are not there yet. So I would think that this would be maybe an urgent need of use of AI right now.
Okay, I think this is the perfect case for the conclusion of this session. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you, three of us. I think
Look at her go.